In this video, I want to show you the Rofmia Daypack. This is very much a handmade item, I think, by a small maker in Japan. So this is the Daypack under the Shift line. This is the large version. There's also a medium version as well. So what makes this bag unique? I think the top three things are obviously the handmade quality, right? This is made, I don't know by how many people, but it's certainly a very, very small company. Second is the material. So this is 5-ounce Dyneema with some beautiful leather trims. And it is a very technical in the sense of material, but at the same time, thirdly, it's the design. So it has a unique look to it, somewhat organic, if you ask me. So either you love this kind of look or you don't. I tend to like bags that are a little bit organic, so not your typical boxy panel loader. So to me, this is a very, very good looking bag. The medium and the large version, which is what this one is, have some minor differences. I'll show you that later on in the video. So I use this in two different modes. I use it as a gym bag. You heard me, like a pickleball gym bag. And I also use it for one bag travel. So I've just taken this, for example, on a 3-day work trip. So I'll show you the loadout for different use cases. And let's start with the one bag travel. So let's take a look at how I pack it for one bag travel. So this is the loadout for one bag travel. I'm going to start with the main compartment because it's easier. Let me open this up. So I don't travel with a lot of items, basically. The Alpha 19 dope kit, which obviously fit in the top with this kind of crescent design. This is my Anchor charging dock thing that I use when I'm traveling. I don't take a lot of clothing with me, so everything tends to fit into a small packing cube like this. And then this is my air cable kit. I have all my electronics and kind of on-the-go personal hygiene items in there. So this is very useful, and I get everything in one single compartment. As you can see, I have the heaviest thing at the bottom, and that's what let me have the bag stand up. If I swap these two items, if I put the clothing in first, then the bag will not be bottom heavy enough for it to stand up on its own. And when I'm traveling like this, as I said, I don't really use this pocket. You can see a little bit of volume here, and that's because the items in the front compartment is pushing into this. So let me show you that next. So here, it's quite nice, right? If I swing the bag over my shoulder, I can get into this and get the lights in there. So you can see the nice Dyneema in the back. There is a pocket here that is good for smaller items. I tend to put things in a pouch and then put them in here. This is my snacks. And then on the front side, so this is the large model, the front pocket has a zipper. And here I should have my AirPods Pro in there. And then they have this really cool design where there is a large elastic loop here, perfect to zip a pen through. And then the rest of it, you know, sometimes I shove my gloves in there. As I said, it is just not large enough for very, very large items. So it's really good for just light, small, like gloves, a scarf, or maybe a notebook. And then finally, close this up. Laptop compartment. So I like that it is designed with a single zipper pull, which means you always remember to close it all the way down without leaving a gap on the top. But this pocket, it's very well padded. And then at the top here, this pocket, I usually put my mouse. I forgot to leave it in there because I took it out for use, but the mouse will go into here. And then the main compartment fits a 16-inch MacBook Pro with no problem. And in fact, you can see that's room to spare here if I have that inside. And then I should also have my iPad Pro in there. So this is a 11-inch iPad Pro with a large case, and all of that gets swallowed up quite easily. So that is a loadout for one bag travel setup. So another use case is as a gym bag. So I literally use this as my pickleball bag. Even though this is a 30-liter bag, it is still a little bit small because for gym sports use, obviously you have a lot of large items, but it works pretty well. And let me show you how I pack that out. So when I'm using this as a pickleball / gym bag, this is how I load it up. The front compartment, again, I'm not putting a lot of items in there. Snack pouch, just like when I'm traveling. And then my AirPods Pro is in the zipper compartment here. And frankly, sometimes I have this in the quick access pocket, so just depending on what I'm doing that day. And that is the front compartment. Main compartment is a little different, obviously. This time, I use this top access pocket because I need to get to my goggles for pickleball, and this is just a quick, easy access location from the top. Now, let me put this back, and you will notice even this pocket is not very, very deep. So think of this as a large glasses case, it is kind of taking up all the room already. So this is just a thing about Rofmia. All the pockets are shallow. The medium size one especially, I have mentioned before, the top access pocket is so small that it doesn't even fit a large iPhone. But in the large one, it's good. So flap, shoes, clothing, and then at the bottom, I use these Snake Charmer pouches from Tumbling for various items, clothing, and body spray and other random items. So this goes into the bottom. And then the document pocket, because in the large version, this is nicely padded, I also put my 11-inch iPad Pro there if I need to do some work in between. So this is the gym setup for the main compartment. And I almost forget to show you the laptop compartment. Since this is pickleball, I am using this to store my paddle, and this obviously fits in there quite well. So paddle in the back where the laptop goes. And then the rest of the main compartment is for clothing. And then a large 20-ounce Yeti bottle do certainly fit on the side without any problems. So this is the version 2. In fact, there's multiple changes since they first released it. This is, let's just call this the 2023 version. They call it V2, but there are multiple minor improvements here. In this version, they basically made all the used to be optional or customizable features on the bag as a standard item. So the 4 zipper pull zipper design is actually brilliant. So the way it works is these two, let me open the bag from up top, which is how I normally use it. But if you have the bag on the side, the other zipper pull can be used to get into the bag on the side without looking for the other one. So I have tagged the 2 center zips with these orange pulls so that I can locate them quickly. So I can open them this way, or this way. So 4 zipper pulls, brilliant design. They've also added a quick access pocket on the top, as I've shown you before. So this is useful for that quick access item. Note that the top pocket is still not that big. So the large size one will fit a large iPhone, but the medium size one, actually, to me, it is too small for a large phones. And then there are leather trims everywhere. This leather handle is probably my favorite part. It just feels awesome to the touch. There is a patch on the bottom here that will eventually get scuffed up for sure, so it kind of gets its own patina, but the idea is this rubs against your back and it's just a little bit more protection. And finally, something that you cannot see but is there is that the bottom layer now has 2 layers of Dyneema fabric in it with something in between. So it just gives the bottom a little bit more of a wear resistant, as if you need it with Dyneema. So the V2 uses 5-ounce Dyneema, so it's a little bit heavier weight Dyneema, and I think it makes a big difference. Especially with a larger bag, I want the more smoother, more structured look to it. The 2.9 ounce, it's perfectly fine, but it's a little bit more crinkly because it's thinner. So this gives us, I think, a kind of a more smooth, professional look compared to the other one. And then on this one, the stretchy side pockets are standard. I believe you can still ask him to not include them, but they come standard. And these are very useful. If you don't use them, you barely see it. But if you use them, like you want to put gloves or water bottle in it, it works very, very well. So this bag is not perfect. A couple of minor issues. So right now, it stands up on its own, but that's because I packed it a particular way. I put the heavy items on the bottom. If you don't, the bag will fall over. So I would say the bag doesn't really stand up on its own. To me, it's not a big deal, but if it is a big deal to you, I want you to think about it before you get this bag. Because the design especially, it encourages me items on the top pocket here, right? And then with the front pocket, if I put anything in here, the weight in the front, it's going to pull the bag forward. So stand up or not, debatable. And the second very nitpicking thing is this front pocket, the way it is designed, it doesn't really hold a lot of items in there. And as I said before, if you put too many things in here, it pulls the bag over. So I tend not to use this as much. Frankly, I'm complaining about this because the Attitude Supply ADT1 and ADT2 really have the perfect design for this kind of front pocket. So I'm kind of spoiled by them. But those are minor gripes. I think this is a very unique bag. I certainly enjoy using it. I think the uniqueness, the quality, the material, design really make this a practical but unique backpack.